Hello and welcome to the IBA's weekly digest of news and information for the radio and television trade. Today, the greater part of our broadcast is devoted to a repeat of the special guide on how to get the best out of UHF television transmissions. And transmitter news includes details of 3 new stations, all in Wales: Llangernu, Llanengen and Anes Pennell.
6 weeks ago we showed you a feature on the need for using the correct aerial to obtain good UHF reception on all 4 channels. The reaction to this feature included a letter from a gentleman in Merseyside. He reaffirmed one of the points we make, the importance of soldering the aerial plug to the down lead. Now, good viewing.
The type of aerial used with a television receiver is as important as the petrol you use in your car. Use the wrong grade and you get poor performance. Likewise, for good television reception, you need the correct aerial and it must be properly installed. At first sight, all television aerials may appear to be the same, but there are some important differences. The colour television service is broadcast over a part of the frequency spectrum known as UHF bands 4 and 5. These 2 bands extend from 470 to 850 MHz and are divided into 44 television channels. Band 4 has channels 21 to 34 and band 5 39 to 68. The gap in between is used by other services. An aerial can be made to receive all channels in bands 4 and 5, but for better performance, aerials are designed to cover these channels in 3 main separate groups. Band 4, that's channels 21 to 34, is called Group A. Band 5 is split into 2. Channels 39 to 53 is Group B, and channels 48 to 68 is Group CD. The 4 channels used at any transmitter site normally extend across 11 channels. The correct group aerial will therefore ensure best reception from the chosen station. The UK television system was planned to provide 4 programmes. Most European countries offer only 3. To avoid causing interference, a number of stations, particularly along the south coast of England, have to use non-standard channel groups. In some cases, the 4 channels fall outside the usual span of 11 channels, and in a few cases beyond the standard A, B or CD groupings. This is why there are 2 additional receiving aerial groups. Group E covers all channels in band 5, that's 39 to 68. Group W covers the whole range from channel 21 to 68. The number of areas that need Group E or W aerials are few, but where specified it's important that they should be used. In particular, 2 high-power main stations, Hannington and Bluebell Hill, both in southern England, require Group E aerials. For a number of reasons, many viewers in these areas had been using the wrong group aerial. Although they had good reception of the BBC and ITV programmes, when Channel 4 started, they found reception of this channel to be poor. So when installing a new aerial, do make sure it's the correct type. Equally important is that the aerial should be mounted with the rods horizontal or vertical according to the polarisation of the transmitted signal. Generally, high-power main stations use horizontal polarisation and relay stations vertical polarisation. But there are exceptions to this, so do be wary. There may be more than one station in your area, so you need to know the best one to use. Wherever possible, mount the aerial outside and clear of nearby objects. Loft aerials sometimes work, but set-top or room aerials are not recommended. Reception is likely to be poor and can be affected by people moving within the room. Of course, unless you are properly equipped, we suggest you call in your local dealer or aerial installer. All channels from your station are transmitted at the same power, but when receiving these signals, there may be variations between channels due to local conditions. To get equally good results on all channels, you need to be able to move the aerial both in a forward or backward direction, as well as from side to side, to find the most favourable position. As you can see from this demonstration, the easy way to do this is to have the aerial mounted on a cranked arm. Equally important is the grade of coaxial cable used to connect the aerial to your television receiver. Always use low-loss, semi-air-spaced cable. Long runs which increase the signal loss should be avoided, as well as sharp bends and kinks, since these can also introduce losses. And don't forget to solder the aerial plug. This should not be overlooked because in time corrosion will occur. This can reduce the signals, degrade the picture, and also produce errors on teletext. In coastal and industrial locations in particular, aerials and coaxial cables tend to have a limited life. But wherever you live, aerial elements and mountings will eventually corrode. Also, the coaxial cable can deteriorate, particularly if exposed to strong sunlight. This could cause further loss of signals, resulting in a poorer picture. An aerial or a feeder cable could need replacing within as little as 5 years of installation, although this will depend on where you live. Where the aerial installation has to provide signals to more than one receiver, use a distribution amplifier. A number of different types are available, generally at a reasonable price. For a small communal distribution system, special care is needed and you should get expert advice. Don't forget the important features of a good aerial installation. Use a good quality aerial of the correct group. Know the polarization of the transmitted signal. Mount the aerial in the clear and on a cranked arm. Use good quality low-loss coaxial cable. Always solder the aerial plug. And remember that your installation could deteriorate with time. You know that if you want the best performance from your car, you should use the proper grade of petrol. So if you want the best out of your television receiver, use the proper aerial and make sure it's well installed.
Now transmitter news and those new relay stations in Wales. In North Wales, near Llanrwst, the Llangyrnu relay is now in full programme service. Llangyrnu serves over 300 people in Llangyrnu itself, Pentre Isaf, and along the valleys for a mile or two from the transmitter. Programmes from HTV Wales and TV-AM are on Channel 32 and S4C on Channel 25. Viewers should use Group A aerials vertically polarised. Llangyrnu now in full programme service.
Near Abersoch, the Llaningen relay also is now in full programme service. Llaningen serves some 200 people in Llaningen itself and in Llangyn. Programmes from HTV Wales and TV-AM are on Channel 61 and S4C is on 54. Viewers need Group CD aerials, but in this case they must be mounted with the rods horizontal. Llaningen is now in full programme service.
On the border between Gwynedd and Dyfed, near Dyfed Junction, Ynys Pennell is expected to start transmissions at the end of this week. Ynys Pennell will extend coverage to over 200 people living to the south of Dyfed Junction towards Furness and to the northeast of Dyfed Junction towards Pennell. Programmes provided by HTV Wales and TV-AM will be on Channel 41 with S4C on 47. Viewers will need Group B aerials vertically polarised. Ynys Pennell expected to start transmissions later this week.
Now Channel 4. One station came into service last week. That was Newcastle, County Down on Channel 65 for a population of 8,000. This week, 3 more existing stations are expected to start broadcasting Channel 4. Weymouth in Dorset on Channel 50, serving 33,000 people. Teignmouth in Devon on Channel 67 for a population of 2,500. Please note that to receive Channel 4, viewers will need Group E or wideband aerials, and Fodderty in Ross and Cromarty on Channel 53 for 2,500 people.
That's all we have time for this week. If you have any queries, here's our address. Our telephone number is 0962 822 444. If it's more convenient for you, use our London number 584 7011, but please ask for engineering information. Until next week, when we hope to show you some of the interesting items seen at the International Broadcasting Convention, from Mari Nicholson, Janet Smythe and myself, John Lovell, goodbye from Crawley Court.